I gotta sip this thing slow. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with mine, sipping it very slow, very slow. But I'm drinking it out of the glass. My wife got me one of those man crates. Have you seen those before?
No.
No, it's a thing online. It's called mancrate.com, I guess. She found it, got it for me for a birthday gift. I don't know if you'll see it on the camera, but it actually on the glass it says MattyMo.
Oh shit, that's awesome. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I can't really see. I can see the outline.
yeah, really kind of hard to see, but yeah, no, it was really cool. She got me a bunch of MattyMo glasses. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
all
cool.
right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm washing mine
Oh,
down with some regular Bud Light. So.
oh, that's a smart idea. I should probably water somewhere. I might actually do that.
Well, listen, I had done an earlier a podcast earlier with
Oh, really?
a girl in London, but she's from Poland, and an airsofter, and so her and I were drinking on the podcast. So she had some
Yeah,
kind of like IPA. I can't remember what it was called. Well, you'll see it on the video, I guess. Huh?
yeah,
Uh,
right.
and, so we poured our glasses. Well, I had this Maker's Mark, so I was kind of, just as you know how it is when you start talking, you're talking with somebody, you're listening. So I'm
Yeah.
drinking, and I'm like halfway through, it starts hitting me. I'm like, oh, I need to slow down. That stuff is strong. Oh Lord.
Oh man, no, I totally get it. No, I'm excited to watch that, dude. I've been listening to your podcast now every day at work. Like I've been going back all the way back, like since you started the podcast and stuff, and I've been listening to them all, dude. Like
God.
you're getting me through the workday. That's why I went out, bought the shirt.
Thank you so much, dude. That is crazy. I saw that picture. I was like, holy shit.
I
Like,
know, right?
I don't know if I'm trying to remember. I think we've had one person or maybe two people in the last 3 years buy like a hat and a shirt. And so I'm not really expecting when
Mhm.
somebody to buy some of the merch. So when you sent me that picture, I was like, oh my God. Okay. I forgot about that shirt.
I'm glad I shocked you.
That's cool. Hell yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
just
man.
started a new storefront, uh, or I guess I just started going through Printify, I think it's called, because I was using Teespring.
I'm using Teespring right now for a
Yeah.
bunch of the MoBros team merch and stuff that we have, and
What do you do?
I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a
Are
big fan.
you okay? So maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know how to do it, but
Yeah.
on our website, when I go to Teespring, there's no way to link directly to the website from Teespring. So at least I didn't find one. So it's not like so uh, I have to take those items that I create on Teespring
Mhm.
and manually put the picture in, manually put the description, and manually put the add to cart. Well,
Yeah.
the add to cart button doesn't actually go through our store on my website. It
It
takes
goes through the
it's
Teespring store.
yeah, right,
Yeah,
which is fine.
that's yeah, but
But I had
it's
to do it
just
manually.
Teespring just wants you to go through Teespring. There's a bunch of other options out there as well. I feel like, to be honest, a lot of MoBros merch and stuff we have out there now, it's great merch and stuff. The T-shirts, the sweatshirts,
Yeah.
it's awesome, right? But we're working on a couple of designs for like a second generation, and I'm thinking about using a different company, maybe somebody like Bonfire or something like that.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Um,
Yeah.
we don't have our own store. We prefer to use these companies and stuff like that because we don't expect to make a lot of money off of
Right.
our swag and stuff like that. We just put it out there because people have requested it from us. Like
Right.
people that we run with on the field, they're like, "Oh, yo, that's t-shirt's sweet. How do I get one?" Well, you can go to our website and then click a link or click the picture, and it'll take you to the Teespring website, and you can buy it there.
Well, I'm going to tell you,
And
when I set up this, I did the same kind of thing, and we don't, like mark up the price, whatever. Like Teespring, you actually go in and set, whatever.
yeah, you can set your prices and stuff on
Yeah.
Teespring, which I've been finding, and yeah,
The Printify thing, the way it's set up, bro, it linked because I used Wix to build our site, and
Mhm.
so it has everything built in. That's why I was really surprised that Teespring didn't have a way to link to that to the
yeah,
storefront itself. So I went on Printify, and it has a link, or it has a way to click, if you have a Wix website or a Wix built website, to link it and link your store. So you kind of like, it's kind of like using Zelle when, you have to sign into your bank account kind of thing,
Yeah.
So it's the same way. So I went on Printify, I signed into our store on Wix, and then it linked them. And so now every product I make, it automatically puts everything, the description, the ID, the add to cart button, everything is already programmed in there. And they can actually click add to cart, and it stays on our Wix website, and they purchase it through there. So
Nice.
it's I was like, holy shit, I should have done this 2 years ago. But the thing I didn't realize was when I did that, they have a 40, the default setting is 40% markup on the items. So I added a t-shirt. Yeah. So I added a t-shirt on here. I'm like, oh, cool. So then I go back to add another t-shirt. Well, then I have my website pulled up, and I'm checking and I refresh it, and I look and I click on the item, and it says like $37 for a t-shirt. I said, what the hell? I said, wait a minute. So I hurried up and went back to Printify, and I changed everything down to like the lowest thing or whatever, where it was like a basic, $20
cover the manufacturing costs, and that's just the basis of it.
It was funny, man. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I've had my fair share of technical issues and stuff like that, especially building our website, which is, gosh, I think I finished it, I don't know, beginning of this year, I think is when I actually finished the website. I built it all via Squarespace, which I love. I love Squarespace. Like I'm addicted to it now. Like there's so many ways that I can check on the analytics and stuff like that, and actually see like, all right, how many people are going to this web page? How many people are liking this photo? That sort of stuff. And where our brand is kind of just going out there in the internet, right? Like how many people are looking at it on an Android cell phone? How many people are looking at it on an iPhone? Like I can see all those analytics, and then I can kind of maybe adjust things on the website to make it a little bit more appealing to people. The other thing I love about our website that has been a huge, just amazing help for me as a team leader is I have a section on our website. It's called MoBros Members. It's a password protected page on our website.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I clicked on it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people click on it. I've seen a lot of people click on it. They're like, crap, I don't know what the password is. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, you got to be a member. Yeah.
You got to be a member. You got to be a member of the team to see that. But all the stuff in there is just team updates, like packing lists, events that we're going to, like who we're connecting with, like, hey, MattyMo's going on a podcast today, like, just to let you guys know, this is the stuff that's going on in the team. Instead of me having to reach out to each individual member or do a huge text message group chat or something, or a Facebook chat, I could just post all the updates and stuff right on there, and every member is just like, oh, you know what, I'm on my lunch break, what's going on with the team? Oh, cool. Oh, sweet. Hey, here's the link for this. Here's the link for that. They just click it on their phone. It's super simple, super easy. Like, it's made organizing everything for this team 1,000 times easier than how I've been doing it in the past 2 years.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. I mean, there's so many tools I have available to add items on our website. I'm not good at it. So
see, for me, it's the small stuff. Like when we say we're going to an event, we have the Grimnir Tactical event coming up, right? April 23rd and 24th. I have stuff on our website for a packing list, the hotel address that we're all going to be staying at, right? Yeah. A link so that way if people want to, because, some of us reserve the hotel room, others don't. We have a team bank account now. So members can actually click a link on the MoBros members page, and they can go ahead and pay for their portion of the hotel room via PayPal early if they want to do that.
That's smart.
It's super convenient for all of our team members that it's just boom, just right there, right on the MoBros members page. You can do it on your phone on your lunch break while you're at work and stuff. And that way, hey, guess what? I'm set for the weekend. I paid for my hotel room. Event ticket is paid for. I downloaded the packing list so I know when I go home on Friday what I have to pack. I downloaded the team map of the event and everything, so I have the whole map of the AO. All that information is there for our members. And some of that stuff we actually share on our event page as well. So I'll put stuff like our packing list and links to event tickets and stuff like that on our event schedule for anybody else to see. But most of the other stuff, like where we're staying in our hotel, stuff like that, that's private for our members to know.
Come on, you don't want a bunch of visitors over there?
No, I don't want a bunch of visitors. I also don't want people sending us a bunch of like PayPal payments in the ether, and then I have to pay tax on that stuff. So
Right. Yeah, for real.
yeah, more than 600. If you make more than $600 on PayPal in a year, oh my God!
That's across the board now. That's a federal thing. So
Yeah.
no matter like when one of the new guys started with us,
Yeah,
you know, where the work I do, the construction stuff.
yeah,
If you know, and originally he was just going to help out like one day a week or something like that. It wasn't going to be much. Just moving, you know, taking trash and all the big stuff out of the
labor stuff, right? Yeah,
Yeah, right. And so after we thought it was going to be very temporary, but it's been going on for a few weeks now. So then my guy contacted me. He was like, "Hey, you need to get his information, have him send it to me because he's about to hit $600. We gotta log all this. He's got to do yeah. So that's actually I think that's a recent update with the 600 with that mark, the $600 thing.
yeah.
Like in the last few years.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised by it because, like, like a bunch of different stuff that our team uses, we use via PayPal, right? So, like, team payments and stuff like that is a big one. We just had an event we went to at Operation Outbreak, and, you know, I had the link going for that one. And we, of course, have our Grimnir Tactical event going on. For the Grimnir event, we got, like, this amazing hotel suite at the Hilton Homewood Suites. It's 5 minutes down the road from the field, right? Which is perfect. You got to be at the field for what, like 7:30 in the morning? Guess what? We're rolling out of bed at 7 a.m. So get to sleep in, right? We have 2 full bathrooms, 3 beds, 2 queens, 1 king, a pull-out couch, a full kitchen, full refrigerator, like, and for 3 nights, it's costing us about $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's
wild.
It's wild, but we're spending the $1,000 split between 8 people.
Well, yeah, I'm saying that is because, dude, that's cheap. Because we just looked up. We were trying to plan a summer trip for like our kids and grandkids, you know, and this is just, you know, 3 hours away at Myrtle Beach. The hotels have gone, man, they skyrocketed, bro. Like
They did.
Where we could get, you know, 5 years ago, we could get the Breakers, which is a pretty, you know, popular hotel at Myrtle Beach. It's great for little kids because they have that, you know, a bunch of kid stuff there with the everything. They, it's $5,000 for 4 nights.
Whoa!
I said, no. It's like $900 a night. I said,
I'll sleep. The kids can sleep in the car.
We'll just sneak into the beach and camp a tent, okay?
Yeah, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, $5,000!
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I said no. We're gonna. So then I looked at. I was like, well, maybe we'll push it back to like November and have like a Thanksgiving, you know, family thing in Gatlinburg, in a cabin. It was like $2,800 for 3 nights.
Oh my God!
And I said, what the hell? And this is on Airbnb. I'm like, what happened? Holy crap!
Wow.
So anyway.
The prices are crazy. We as a team, we got the Grimnir event this April, right? Yeah. And we had planned, we do have a room booked, but we're in talks right now to actually kind of cancel the room. The reason being is we're paying $1,000 for the Grimnir weekend. We're going back to the field again 3 weeks later, same hotel room, same location, $200 more.
Oh shit.
Like, and we've been talking about it as a team, and there's only about 6 of us going to this one. I mean, we can supplement. We can find random people, you know, friends of ours and stuff that are going and be like, hey, we have a hotel room. You can come and stay with us for X amount of dollars. What's the point at that point? Like, it's $200 more. So we're talking about just camping out for the American Milsim event, Eastern Front, that's going on in New York. Like, we might just camp for that one because, I mean, an extra $200 and only 6 people are confirmed going. Like, that can get a little pricey, especially for a 3-day weekend, you know?
Right.
But no, we work stuff like that out, and as we're working it out, like, you know, voting and stuff like that, you know, we'll pose a question to the team. Voting's taken care of on that members page, you know,
That's cool.
at people's leisure, you know, and it's convenience is everything nowadays.
Oh,
nowadays,
sure.
right? I mean,
I mean, we have this thing in our hand all the time. We can just, you know, use pretty much every app on here and just,
exactly,
you know,
and
click through.
When it comes to me and my life and trying to, you know, run this team and coordinate stuff for all the team members, the thing I constantly do is I'll constantly get messages. Hey, MattyMo, what's going on with the event for this weekend? I have no idea what's going on. Is it easier for me to go ahead and type out a 3-paragraph long essay on a text message and tell you everything and provide links and all that? Or is it easier for me to just say, go here? Yep. Go to this page. Here's the password. You should have the answers to all of your questions, and if you don't, then answer me.
Right.
And I haven't yet got another question back, which is good.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you got to streamline it, you know, with communication and the tools we have available. It's the best way to, you know, streamline that stuff. You know, that's everybody's flexible, you know.
Exactly. Everybody's like, we're all playing Airsoft, but everybody comes from a different background. Everybody comes from a different lifestyle, right? Like you're working construction, you're flipping houses and stuff. I'm doing project management and estimating and stuff. I'm behind a desk all day. We got a couple of our guys that do construction. They're building houses, being laborers and stuff. We got a guy on our team who's a gardener, a landscaper. We had a guy on our team that's a welder he has a job with the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. He works over there.
Yeah.
My brother, he's just got back from basic training in AIT with the National Guard. Our team members, they're all doing all sorts of different things on all walks of life, right? Nobody's schedule is going to line up during the week for us to do some sort of weekly meeting, you know, especially when we got, you know, family, friends, kids. It gets hectic. So to be able to take all that information that everybody needs to know and put it in one centralized location and be like, hey, if you have a chance this week, just pull up the page. Everybody can do that.
Right.
It's so easy. It's so simple. And then we communicate that way throughout the weeks, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. We used to do when we first started the channel, I would get all these guys together on their days off or whatever, and we do a meeting, like, okay, plan like the next week for videos and when we're going to do all that stuff. Well, then, and they had the time to do that because they had a consistent schedule. Each of them did, where they didn't have overtime and stuff. Well, then they got 2 of the guys got promoted. Johnny changed his job and his schedule, and then some other things changed. So it was, and that's actually how, you know, I'm sure you've heard that's how the podcast started. And,
exactly. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, we had to be flexible, and so we just kind of chat whenever. Well, obviously, we haven't been able to figure out when we can get together for a video, but at least, you know, whatever. At least I'm meeting new people, and but I had to be flexible too. Like I've been doing these videos or these podcasts on Discord. Well, the one I did just earlier today, the Discord would not work for this lady in the UK, so it came up, the audio sounded great, but the video would not load. So, and I've had that a couple times where we've tried to, like, you know, kind of work through it. But she was like, well, I use Skype for my job, and that works, you know, flawless. Can you do that? And I was like, you know, I've never tried it. I mean, I've used Skype before, but I've never tried it on here. And, oh, we got a visitor. What are you doing? This is my granddaughter.
She got stuff on her fingers. What are those?
She got those washable markers, whatever. She's been playing with those. You gonna say hi? All right.
It's weird seeing you without the headset on.
Isn't it? I know. And without a hat.
I know, right?
Like the videos and stuff. I think I have a hat. I don't know. Maybe not.
Sometimes you have a hat on. Not all the time, but sometimes you have a hat on. But it's definitely weird to see you without the headset. That's for sure.
When we're talking, I know. And this headset's weird because whenever I'm looking, I don't look too much at myself in here when I'm doing these.
Yeah.
But so this side, it's like it's all awkward. Look.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I see it. It's like bumping out on one side. Yeah.
What is this thing? I don't know how to. I don't know.
As long as it's comfortable and it works, right? I mean, that's all that matters.
I'm like, whatever, bro. This thing. But I've tried it before with, because I have a blue snowball, a little whatever it's called, Yeti snowball or something like that, mic.
Yeah.
It sounds really good, but the problem is, if I don't have a headset on, when somebody talks, it comes through the speaker. I have to turn it up just enough to where I can hear it. Well, then the mic hears it as well, and it starts either an echo or it starts that auto cancellation or sound whatever. So I was like, I just unhooked all that. I got this thing for like $15. I'm like, it has the mic on it. I don't care because I have a Turtle Beach headset for my Xbox. And I can hook it up to here, wirelessly, but the wireless thing sometimes cuts out, just every once in a while.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that.
And I think it's because my computer actually doesn't have like Bluetooth built in. I had to get one of those little plug-ins for the USB. I don't know, maybe that's it, but or maybe it's just because it's an older Turtle Beach. I don't know, but anyway.
Well,
so I went to this.
The important thing is that you have a Turtle Beach, and the other thing that I think a lot of people watching this are going to be excited to know is you play Xbox. Like what?
Bro, listen. I saw you were logged in, like you were still logged in on our Discord. I think it was yesterday or maybe a couple days ago. And I was on here. I was editing, and I saw you pop up, and it said you were playing Battlefield 4. And that was
just yesterday, man.
Like, I just about stopped what I was doing and got on my Xbox to try to find your gamer tag because Battlefield 4 is one of my all-time favorite games as far as multiplayer and stuff. Besides, all the Gears of War and Halo and all that kind of stuff, but Battlefield 4 is hands down. I played so many hours of that game when it was out.
I'm like a level 132 or something like that. Like, and the cap is 140. So I played that for a hot minute. Actually, if you go to my personal YouTube channel, you can actually see a couple of Battlefield 4 clip videos, like music videos and stuff. Yep. That was me playing back in 2013, 2014. Like, I don't record anything anymore, and unfortunately, I do not get on gaming too often anymore. It sucks. It's just work is too much, family, and then of course Airsoft with the team and everything. The studio and podcasts and all that fun stuff. But when I do get a chance to get on, I love Battlefield 4.
Your room looks awesome. I love the way you have it set up this time.
Oh, yeah. I think last time I was sitting at the table over here. Yep. But this time, right now you're sitting on my desk on my editing area that I use here. I have a second monitor off screen that you can't see here. Yeah. And then the patch wall, which I'm sure you've seen the patch wall in several of our videos and stuff before. Yep. The patch wall is actually like right up here above me.
Yeah, I just saw your little clip on Instagram. Matter of fact.
Oh yes. Yeah. People are loving that
patch wall, and I said, "Oh shit, he's got a patch up there."
Yes, I do.
Hell yeah, man, that was cool.
So the patch wall, I started collecting patches maybe like a year or two ago. Yeah. Just from, going to events, meeting other teams and stuff. And they're like, hey, man, did you want one of our patches? I said, yeah, I'll trade you a MoBros patch for one of your patches. And that just kind of blossomed into me making a More Brothers patch wall. Because you know what our team's about, right? We're all about more experiences, more everything. So why not make a patch wall just filled with all of our friends' patches, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really have any. I don't think I have a patch really here that I paid for or that I received in like a gift bag or something like that. Like everything's just from friends and stuff that I've met or I've talked to, like you and I are talking, like met on the field, played with them on the field. Like that's where all those patches come from, man. It's awesome. It's a great way to grow the community. And every time we add another patch, I'll make another post and I'll tag that new person and I'll tag everybody else that is also on the wall. So that way everybody can go follow that new person that made it onto the Brothers patch wall, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Christian, I don't have one in here, but Christian has the patch wall or a patch board or whatever in his room.
Mm-hmm.
But he just bought a house, so he's getting ready to move in like 2 weeks. And but
he needs to make
start one.
He needs to make a studio.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You need to get the lights and stuff, right? You got to get the guns on the wall, the plate carriers. Like it's fun to do.
So that strip you have, that blue one,
yeah,
that's the same kind of strip I have, except mine's that bright white. So yeah.
What do you want? You want?
Yeah, I only
there you go.
White.
Yeah. It's white now. There you go.
Yeah, but see, I like the blue.
Green. Yeah, the blue is very nice. You got red. Yeah. Now you got the remote that does it all.
Yeah.
And it's just a quick, easy button. It definitely lights things up.
This thing right here that the guy made us.
That.
So that changes colors as well. It has that same remote.
Oh, really?
I used to be able to, change it blue, green, or whatever. But I've always liked the red in the background. But but these lights I have up here, they're only white. So I need to get a new one where they change like that, because I like the blue a lot.
They're pretty cheap on Amazon. I know this one here cost me about $50, and I got what did I pay for it? I think I got the 75-foot
nice
grip, and all I did was I just mounted it to the underside of the entire acoustical ceiling system here. But yeah, it looks great. The actual like plug-in connector or whatever is hidden by the door when you walk in the room. So when you walk in the room, then you have to leave the door open. You don't see any of the cords, anything like that, you know. Right. But it makes for a very cool look in the studio. And I'm actually, I don't live in this. I don't own this house, I should say. I rent this house.
Yeah.
And my landlord's just really cool with me doing stuff, whatever I want, which is awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, it looks really good. I was talking to the one that just came out, the podcast that came out this morning with John.
I love John from Full Auto Airsoft. I just commented on that, I think, earlier today, and you saw it. Like I've seen him on a couple of different podcasts and stuff before, and I've heard his story. Super inspirational story for starting his business. Like seriously, like oh my gosh, love that guy. Yeah, absolutely love him.
Really, really great to talk to. I never heard about Full Auto Airsoft until me and Little Miss Airsoft talk.
Yep.
When we did the podcast and she was talking about it, and then last week she texted me and said, "Hey, have you ever done any or thought about doing a podcast with store owners, airsoft store owners?"
Yeah.
And she's like, and I said, "No, I don't think I've done any, yet." I did reach out to Airsoft Columbia last year when I first started the podcast, but the guy that owns it down there was he had a death in the family, so like right around then, and so we've never had a chance to reconnect since then, but that would have been the only one.
Hey, you're blowing up now. Maybe now's the chance, man. You know?
Man, listen, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously I enjoy what I'm doing. I love new people, and this is really cool for me on a Friday night. I'm not really going out anywhere, but I feel like you and I are hanging out, drinking, and talking about airsoft stuff. And
cheers, buddy. Let's talk airsoft.
No, for real. But it's been really cool. But John had when we first started. If you watch the video now,
I did. Audio, he's got the blue light everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he had that same lamp had those bulbs that you can connect and change.
Really?
And I have one I used to have one in here in this light, but it's just like a Wi-Fi. The bulb itself connects to Wi-Fi.
Well, like it connects to your phone almost.
Yep.
Like that is.
I think
cool.
it's called well, I can't remember what it's called. I still have the app on my phone, but so you just plug it in, you screw it into any kind of light
John,
outlet.
John's
And
giving
then,
me some ideas.
oh yeah, and then what you do is you do kind of like you turn the switch off, turn it on, turn it off, and then turn it on, and that'll activate it basically like in pair mode. So
Yeah.
now you can connect to your Wi-Fi, whatever. Well, anyway, so I was like, hey, I think your camera's not focusing because that first part of the video was it was real blurry.
Yeah.
So he goes, oh wait, let me change the lighting. Maybe it's too bright back there. So he turned it to blue, and it looked really cool. Yeah, something about the blue on camera looks, it's kind of.
It does. It looks awesome. It's futuristic. It's
Yeah, for real.
Blue is very internet.
Yeah,
So for
right.
podcasts, for any sort of shows and stuff, and definitely for like cool little hype videos about like the studio I have built back here that you saw earlier. I was running blue lights for the entire thing. There's a slight blue tint to the entire video. Just looks good. I don't know why.
Yeah,
But
blue kind of looks like, or I think equals digital, right? It looks digital.
Yeah. That's probably the perfect way of
Oh,
putting
yeah.
it.
All right.
Uh,
Well, you guys went to a recent event, or I guess you went to an event recently, and I think it was last week. I texted you. It was like, hey, if you want to get on and talk about it, I would love to hear about it.
Definitely, I can tell you about it. So the event was Operation Outbreak at Albany Paintball Experience Tactical, or Ape Tactical, hosted in Nassau, New York, which is about 10-15 minutes out of Albany, New York, just right to the east of it. The field was great. Our team had a little slight hiccup. I was running as the commanding officer for that event for the JTF faction, the Joint Task Force faction. So I definitely put in a couple of weeks, months, if you will, of planning, maps, getting my squad leaders and stuff all set. My squad leaders were amazing. They were comprised of several different teams that MoBros are friends with. Deadline Force Vermont, oh my gosh, who else? Real Precise Shooters, Blunt Force Airsoft New Hampshire, and our buddies from the Valkyrie Directive also came out to this event. So we had squad leaders from all those teams, and everybody was on top of the ball. We coordinated everything via Discord, actually, and created like a group page, and we shared maps, plans, stuff like that. Any questions I was able to answer and stuff. We actually did a video call similar to this podcast here, where we were able to talk it out and plan and everything. And I think all of that planning helped out so much when I woke up at 8 in the morning. The event started at 10 a.m. I woke up at 8 a.m. and went out to my car to start it, and my starter was dead. I didn't get to the field with the rest of the MoBros team until about 10, 15 a.m. Like, we're 15 minutes late. Like, all I did was send a quick text message to one of my squad leaders, and I just told him, hey, man, I know you've done this before for other teams. I need you to take command until I get there, because I got nothing to do. By the time I got into the field, 10:30, 10:45, right, I just rushed the chrono process, rushed getting my gear on. I'm like, I get out there. Our plan was already in motion, and all the objectives that we wanted to take were already taken because of the squad leaders and because of that planning and stuff. I was like, oh my God, I hit an all-time high when I heard that on the radio. I'm just like, all right, hey, where's Alpha Squad? Oh, Alpha Squad, where you told us to go. Where are we going now? I'm like, where Bravo Squad, how you doing? All quiet on Bravo Squad front. I'm like, what do you want? Like, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
It worked like a well-oiled machine. I was so impressed. I mean, all these teams just coordinating together. These guys knew exactly what needed to be done, and they got it done throughout the entire event. I literally spent the entire 6 hours of that event in our forward operating base, in our fob, and I just commanded from a radio. I didn't even get to see the field, which is my first time at the field. I was hoping maybe to be able to run around a little bit, maybe have to be a little hands-on. Nope. The squad leaders, these other teams, Deadline Force Vermont, Valkyrie Directive, Real Precise Shooters, like, these guys just, I give them an order, and they went, they did it, they accomplished it, and it's what got JTF faction the win for the end of the event. Like, it was incredible. Just such a great event. It was hosted by Adirondack Mountain Division Airsoft. Another team, another really good friends of ours. They're starting to do, or I should say, they're starting to host more MilSim type events.
Yeah.
And this was their first event ever that they hosted, so that's why they invited us out. They're like, "Hey, would you guys run a faction?" They had another friend of theirs run another faction, Luffy from Northern Virus, great guy. I actually got to assassinate him at the end of the event, nice. Which was very fun.
Was this a 3-day event?
No, it was actually only 1 day. Yeah. I know the photos and everything that came out, people were messaging me and the MoBros team about it and saying, "Hey, I didn't understand. There was a 2-day event. There was a 3-day event over at," I'm like, no, 1 day. It was just 6 hours of airsoft. But so many teams came out to it that, spread the word about how much of a great time we had. There are already people sending messages saying, "Well, when's Operation Outbreak 2 happening? I want to go to Operation Outbreak 2. Yeah. And they are going to have one. They're going to have one next year. I'm going to have to come back. I'm going to have to defend my title. I don't want to give away too much information, but I can tell you that, the storyline was the Chinese-Russian army, the CRA, were trying to ensue chaos and release a deadly disease, an outbreak, if you will, right, across this entire, United States. Yep. And myself and the Joint Task Force, which is just a coalition of military and civilian players, got together and we held off against that CRA attack. And we were also able to find the cure for the virus to be able to create a vaccine that we could distribute to the local division agents and the local civilians in this town. So we succeeded in doing that this year. Coming up next year, apparently I've been appointed president of the entire town, and my goal is everybody needs to get vaccinated. I'm going to be playing Joe Biden, basically, which is going to be hilarious. I cannot wait to play Joe Biden.
Oh, you're going to need some friendly fire, bro.
We've talked about it a lot, myself, call sign Luffy from Northern Virus, and the guys from Adirondack Mountain Division who host the event. We've talked about it. There are talks of me telling people that, hey, what happens if you don't get vaccinated? You go insane. You go crazy. You start thinking the government's out to get you. And then I have to murder you. Pop, pop, pop. So maybe get vaccinated. So that way I don't have to murder you like I murdered that guy. All right? Just get vaccinated.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
It's, I'm really excited for next year. I think it's going to be an absolute blast of an event. I know all the teams that were there this year, they're looking forward to come back out next year as well. But, no, I had so much fun. We were, even though I was in the fob the whole time, I didn't get to see any of the field.
Yeah.
I was defending our operating base from just an onslaught of enemy attacks. There was a third-party team as well, known as the Division Agents. Sometimes they helped us, sometimes they didn't help us, right? Kind of like your local civilian team. You don't know whether or not you can trust them. Eventually, I just said, fuck it, I'm not trusting them, so I kidnapped one of them, and I held him hostage for about an hour and a half.
Oh, shit.
A good friend of mine, so he was, oh, jeez, dropping stuff. Good friend of mine, he didn't mind being held captive, but,
right.
We definitely gave him a good ribbing. At one point, the local friends of his, the division agent friends, tried to attack our fob to rescue him. So we decided to tie him to a tree in the middle of the attack in just the hopes that a stray BB might strike him, because I'm smart and evil like that.
Oh my God, that's funny, dude.
No, held off against their attack. Eventually they gave up. They hightailed it out of there. Real precise shooters moved in with their squad to help wipe them out and push them back. Like the communication through the day with myself and the other squads of what was going on, it was just miraculous. Like such a fun event. Yeah.
Now, how far of a drive is that for you guys?
Albany, I live in Manchester, New Hampshire. Some of our guys live up in Maine. Some of our guys live in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
For me personally, it was about a 3-hour drive. I think the max drive time for our guys up in Maine, who are the furthest from the field, was about 5 hours, I want to say.
Yeah.
But 5 hours for one day of airsoft, 2 nights in a hotel room. I mean, it's a bonding experience for us,
Right,
you know?
for sure.
Like,
So did you guys get a hotel and stay over and all that? Okay.
yeah, we got 2 hotel rooms actually, but no, we hung out. We got there to the town of Troy, New York around, I think about like 4 or 5 o'clock at night on Friday, and then yeah, we left Sunday morning. Yeah, but it's always fun, you know, getting together with your team, hanging out with your bros. Like,
right.
That's what we did all weekend. You know, we got dinner together, hung out with a bunch of other teams throughout the day. I was eventually able to get my car fixed, which was good.
Nice.
I mean, so I could drive it home. I mean, I was in a sniper tower, you know, in our forward operating base, barking out orders on the radio while taking incoming fire, and then my cell phone rings. Oh, so we might be able to fix your car. It's going to be about, you know, $800, yada, yada. I'm like,
damn.
I'm like, hang on a sec. What was that?
Dude.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I was going to say, smack that starter with with a hammer and screwdriver. That usually gets him going.
Tried it, didn't work. We actually had to tow it from the hotel parking lot maybe about a mile down the road to a mechanic, which that mechanic, I won't say their name because I don't like to bash businesses, but they totally screwed me. They charged me like $12 for a spark plug.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's pretty normal.
$12 for a spark plug? I've seen them for $2.
Oh yeah, I used to sell. Well, not sell. I used to deliver auto parts way back when I first got out of the military.
Yeah.
And so I saw what they paid, and I saw what the retail price was, and it's a very big markup.
Yeah, they marked the hell out of me. All said and done, fixing my car cost about $1,000. All said and done, which I didn't plan to spend $1,000 going to this event, but
for sure.
You know what? That aside, it was an amazing weekend. A lot of fun with a lot of great teams. I had to skip a skirmish this month because of, you know, paying for the car and everything. But we are even more excited now to hit not the same field, but another field in New York this April for Grimnir Tactical, which that game is looking to be a lot of fun. That is going to be a 2-day event hosted at Zulu 24, which is the Milson field out in New York. Yeah.
Didn't they just, I think I just saw a post that they were supposed to have, at that location, supposed to have something this weekend, and they're not? Is that Zulu 24? They, somebody just posted something where they just had to reschedule something. I don't know.
Reschedule something? I know that the same weekend as the Grimnir Tactical event, Lion Claws originally had an event planned for that weekend, but they ended up rescheduling theirs. But that was about like a month or so ago. I think they rescheduled it. But no, I didn't hear anything.
Let me, because I hate getting this shit wrong, but I know who posted it. It was.
Oh, you do? Pull his name up. We gotta figure it out.
Yeah, let me see here. It was, we will not be at Zulu 24 this weekend. Oh, no. Okay, so maybe somebody was saying that they're not going to be at Zulu 24. Zulu 24 Airsoft, it says, attention players, due to FTX Broadsword, Zulu 24 will be closed Saturday, April 9th. We will move the spring flea market to the following weekend. So
Yes, I do see that.
I don't know what that is. Is FTX Broadsword an event?
It is an event. FTX Broadsword. It's not a Zulu event, but it's an event that they're selling tickets for players to go to. It's a limited access kind of event that's hosted at a military training facility in New York. It's kind of all hush hush until after you buy your ticket.
Nice.
And a lot of the Zulu 24 staff actually go and attend that event. I know Dave himself, the guy who owns Zulu 24, he goes to that event and he plays. He actually plays a lot of his own events actually on his field. He's a great guy.
Talk to that guy.
You should talk to that guy. Dave is awesome. I've met him on several different occasions attending his field for some of these larger events and stuff. I wish I lived closer to his field so I could go there like every weekend for a skirmish or something, but it's about 4 hours away from me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 hours away from me. That's a bit of a drive for to play for 6 hours for the day.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a couple day trip for if you're gonna play all day and then have to drive back home. That sucks.
Yeah. So that's usually why me and the entire team, whenever we go out there, it's usually for something that's like 2 days or a really big 1 day event that we'll get a hotel room for or something like that, or camp out on the field, that sort of thing.
Right.
But Zulu, they host some pretty awesome events. I'm sure you saw the video on our YouTube page of our guys flying around in helicopters and stuff.
Yes.
That was at the Zulu 24 field for their game called Operation Blood Diamond. Tickets went on sale, I think it was like $40, $45 for an event ticket. And then you paid $60. You can ride for 10 minutes in the helicopter.
Holy shit, that's cheap.
We had members of the MoBros team pay for like 3 or 4 rides.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
just like, you're like, screw it. I want to be in the helicopter all damn day. And I'm like, do it. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it was 100 plus, maybe 130, I think, extra to ride the helicopter at GTI for the Stormbreaker event. Yeah, so the guys usually don't, usually do it. Well, our guys, my 2 sons, they're 6'1" and 320 pounds without gear on. So they're over the weight limit with all their stuff on, or pretty damn close to it for the helicopter ride. So now JP, he could do it, but he don't want to go on there by himself. So, or with other team, with a different team. So, so they don't usually do it, but yeah, it's $60 for the helicopter ride is pretty damn cheap.
$60 for like 10 minutes up in the air. And all you're doing is just strafing runs back and forth, like you saw in our video. Like the guys in the chopper, they kind of ran the same route back and forth. Like we have, like 30, 40 minutes of footage of just our guys riding in the helicopter. It was awesome. And on top of that, while our guys were running in the helicopter, I only paid for 1 ticket myself. And then after that, I just packed up my stuff, got myself back on the field so I could actually wear my GoPro while they're wearing their GoPros in the helicopter, and I could see them doing their strafing runs and stuff. I caught all that on camera and was able to put that on the video, which was absolutely awesome. Like it made for some really good, cool footage. They're going to have that event. They're going to have that event again this year. Zulu 24 is going to host it in October. I think it's October 15th, somewhere around then. But it should be posted on their website. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to have the helicopter again, but I have a good feeling they will. Well, the field itself is located right next to the Newburgh Airport, which is 10 minutes down the road from the field. So, and there's a bunch of like helicopter rental companies and stuff like that you could hire to just come to the field, tell them, hey, how much do my players have to pay to ride around the chopper? Like, we're going to put a rule out here on the field. Nobody shoot at the chopper. It'll be totally safe. Like, and when I was there on the ground, everybody was adhering to that rule. Like, if people saw the chopper coming by, like, they ducked for cover.
For sure.
They understood that, hey, if you see the chopper, do not shoot at it. Don't throw anything at it.
Yeah.
If a ref or people call you out and say, "Hey, I saw this guy doing it," you just got immediately ejected from the event. You know,
Yep.
which is how you got to do it. But
Oh, you
no.
have to. Yeah, you can't have even one mistake like that where somebody goes full auto on the helicopter. And we had at this last one I went to this past weekend at
Yeah.
Stonebreaker, they had the helicopter doing Friday night, the night game. They had to do it doing runs, and I guess the nobody was allowed to use camera with flash or flashlights, or even people where we were camped off the field. But it was a huge area that all those tents and everybody had their trucks and everything up there. People would turn their headlights on, and an admin would come down and start yelling like, "Turn your lights off," because the guy was flying with the NVGs. Because it was totally blacked out. He didn't have a spotlight, no nothing. Like you could not see the chopper except for that little blink of the red light, and it was badass, bro. Like really, really cool.
That sounds absolutely epic. Like I can't. Oh man. No, I've been watching a lot of footage from the Stonebreaker event, and
Yeah.
I've been kicking myself recently. I'm like, damn, I should have gone to that one. That one looks it looks so awesome. It looks like you guys had an awesome time too there. But I've been seeing a lot of other teams, a lot of other friends and stuff of ours that went there. The Tryhards from Florida, they made all their way all the way up to that event.
I follow them on Instagram, actually.
Oh yeah, you should have him on for a podcast. Laz,
Yeah, for
great
sure.
guy, great guy. He actually used to live up in the New Hampshire area where I'm from. Me and him used to play a lot of airsoft together. That's how I know him actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I met so one of the guys that I follow on Instagram, Tonka, is his call sign Tonka, and I didn't even know he was going to this event. He lives in Florida, so on our way there, it's 2.5 hour drive from where we're at.
Yeah.
And on our way there, I'm posting stuff on Instagram, whatever, and he sends me a message saying that he's on his way there as well. And I was like, "Oh shit, dude, we're gonna have to hook up. I want to get a picture with you." So because we've been chatting, we were actually supposed to do a podcast together like a month ago, and he had a death in his family as well.
Wow.
One of his really good friends
Yeah.
was killed in a car accident, whatever. And so anyway, yeah, kind of a weird story to be honest, but he wasn't in a car. He got hit by a car. And but anyway, so I was like, "Bro, we gotta hook up." So he wasn't getting there until later, like Friday night or evening. We got there Friday afternoon. We got everything set up. Well, I see on his Instagram a video of him standing where he's parked, going like this of the field, or where the campsite with the building, and I was like, "Bro, that's like right next to us." So I get up, and we're at our tent, and we're sitting here drinking and talking and stuff.
Yeah.
So I get up and start looking around. I'm like, and he showed his truck as well. He had a red pickup truck, and I said, "Oh my God!" It was literally like catty corner to us, 50 feet away. So, so I went over there, and there's like 30 guys, around his team and everything. And I said, "Hey, is Tonka around here?" And they were like, "Yep, he's right over here." But it was so cool to meet up with somebody, because this is my first big event, It was really cool to meet up with somebody that I've been chatting with online, face to face. It was really cool. But he's got a YouTube, or I don't know if he has a YouTube channel. He posts a lot of his videos on Instagram. He wears a GoPro. He's got a ton of videos of him running and gunning on that, on that field. But he was on the opposite team as our guys. So he was on green team. We were on tan. So, and green team actually had a lot more players than tan did on this one. But tan won because they knew how to take objectives. So, but he posted.
That's so funny that you're able to meet him and stuff.
Yeah.
So when we went to the helicopter event, Operation Blood Diamond at Zulu 24, at one point I had to go like refill ammo or get some water or something like that. So I ran back to the car, and as I'm at the car, I get alert on my phone, right? Task Force Podcast is now doing an Instagram live stream with Five Boroughs Tactical. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So I hop on Instagram real quick and I'm watching for a bit. And as I'm watching, like Five Boroughs Tactical, I've been their team out of like New York City, right? And they do some speed QB games, but they also do a lot of milsim stuff. And Five Boroughs, I've been following them for a while, and I'm watching them on this Instagram live, and I'm like, wait a minute. Is that you? I ended up just walking right over and being like, yo, dude, hey, you were on the live with Task Force Podcast. He's like, oh, yeah. He hangs up the phone on him. I'm like, well, that's a little rude. So I call Task Force Podcast on the Instagram live, and I get on the live with them, and together, we're doing the selfie thing.
Oh, I didn't even see that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Task Force or anybody posted it, because you could do an Instagram live and not post it if you choose to. But
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. Like a lot of people just post it. Some people don't. I don't know why. But yeah, no, it was it was a really fun moment.
I'm on Instagram live, so I'm not sure how it works.
Well, you should
I haven't started one. I've been on somebody's, but I haven't started one.
You should definitely start one, man. So literally what happens is you start your Instagram live, and anybody who's also on Instagram can just tune in, and they're watching.
So when you're done, how do you does it give you option to like save to post or story or some shit or something?
So it gives you the option to either post it to your Instagram account, or you can just delete it.
Gotcha.
It's either one option or the other. Most people choose to post it. Some people will choose to delete it. It's,
Well, that's how I found Austin from Blue Mag Airsoft was the live stream with he did with Radar, Admin Airsoft, and Peanut, because I didn't know any of those guys. I didn't know any of them. I knew Admin Airsoft because I had just done a podcast with him.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah, like 2 weeks before that live stream. Well, then I got that notification, somebody went live. I'm like, oh, Evan's going live. I was like, oh, let me check it out. I don't know, whatever.
That was I remember rewatching that one. That was a very informative Instagram live video. You get to learn a lot about the Blue Mag guys. They're doing some really great stuff, I have to say. And I watched your podcast with him as well. Very informative. Apparently he's like booked up like every weekend or something like that with an airsoft event, from what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's the same kind of story as like what John was talking about, where every weekend he's packing up. He's got to go, to these events or the fields and meet up with people and promote the brand or whatever. So that's you could do it online, but it's not the same, especially when if you're trying to sell to store owners, that have stores, brick and mortars, that, hey, here's my product, because you represent your business and your product.
Oh, yeah.
So you go and meet the person, you know how it is. You're in sales, or maybe not sales, but you've
been estimating. But I totally get that. I'm representing my company with every time I send out a bid to a general contractor and stuff like that. It's like my name is on the company at that point, right? So if people don't like me, they're not going to like my product. It's exactly that. It's the same reason why, like when I go out to an airsoft field and stuff like that, people associate me with MoBros Airsoft. Well, I might be the team leader, but my actions and stuff speak for the team,
Absolutely.
And I mean, if you're doing stupid stuff, like people are gonna be like, "Oh, MoBros are doing stupid stuff,"
Oh yeah.
But no, I like what Blue Mag's doing. I think they're doing some cool stuff. I've heard that they're trying to make a field and stuff like that, which sounds pretty awesome. I know he's trying to get distribution and get the machines and stuff up and running in the United States. That's a huge goal. I mean, those machines and stuff, those are not cheap. Did you ever watch? I'm sure you've heard Norovich, right? Or Novrich?
Novrich, yeah.
Yeah, Novrich. So when he created his BB line back in like 2016, he actually posted a video back in 2016 explaining how BBs are manufactured and stuff like that. And he actually, Yeah, he actually. I'll have to send you the link after this, dude. It's a really great video, and it goes through the process of how like the BBs are stamped and molded and made, and how it goes through a quality assurance, process and stuff. And I'm looking at these machines because I have a background. I went to school for mechanical engineering, and I'm looking at all these machines, and I'm like, man, that's got to cost a pretty penny. It has to. Each one of the machines,
for like 25 years, all around those kind of machines, die casting, with aluminum, and then the last 15 years here has all been plastics. So extrusion, thermoforming, all that kind of stuff, and then injection molds. But so yeah, they're not cheap.
They are not cheap at all. So like I'm man, but to be able to bring those machines and bring them stateside and be able to create a product like that's, man, you got to have some capital to do that.
It's a big process. And then, typically what these guys do, well, most of the factories I worked in, the actual company doesn't own anything. They don't even own the building. They lease everything.
Really?
And yeah. So this has been going on for quite a few years in manufacturing because of the uncertainty with manufacturing in America, with everything moving overseas. So these companies would not buy the land, would not buy the building. Somebody else would have the, investors or whatever, whoever they work with would have the building built. They lease everything everything inside the building is leased. All the prints, die cast machines, or that I used to work on, and then all these plastic extrusion machines. And they'll lease them, and they get, a lot of them are really old, right? So the ones that I was working on just a few years ago before I got sick was like, they were like from the 80s. These thermoforming machines were from the 80s. And so we would have techs come in from France or, somewhere here in the States and to work on them. And they said, and we were like, hey, is there a feature where you can do this, because this has been a big problem in this machine, we're just asking, and they're like, yep. And I'm like, well, and he's like, bro, your machine's like 1982. I'm like, holy shit. I said, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's it's a big process, but they, you figure out, I mean, most of those machines run like nonstop. Once you get the process down, and plastics, I'm not sure how BBs are made. I'll have to watch that because I'm really interested because I worked on a lot of these.
It's really cool. It's kind of made how like you think it would be made, right? So like there's a droplet machine that fills up like a little droplet of each individual beam material, right? And then they go ahead and they compress it, and then it comes out looking like a sheet, right?
Yep.
Like a sheet of something, and then they stamp all the BBs out. Then they have
thermoforming, yeah.
Yeah, and then they have to polish all of them, and then all the babies have to go through quality control. And the quality control is, they feed them all through a bunch of tubes. The finished product actually makes it through the tubes. The unfinished product, whether it be too big, too small, or not the correct weight, will drop down into a discard bin to be recycled material and go through the process again.
Yep.
Right?
They get melted down and go back in, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's thermal. Yeah, see, that's what I did for quite a few years. And I did those. I was a process tech, so I figured out those problems.
Oh, wow, yeah.
To try to make the sheet run better, or yeah, plastic. When I worked in aluminum die casting, man, that shit ran like a very well oiled machine. Like the way they had their process set up, aluminum is not really susceptible to outside temperature as much.
Yeah.
And it was injection molded. But these thermoforming, it's a big sheet of plastic, that comes out of an extruder, and there's so many temperature changes. There's so many variables that affect the sheet before it actually gets into the mold that there's a lot of things that go wrong in between there. Yeah. And of course, sometimes there's a lot of mix of material. So you have a lot of different, 12, 24 different hoppers mixing all kind of with the color and the whatever. So yeah, it's when I started learning that, I was like, holy crap, man, there's a lot to go into this process.
Yeah. No, I used to work for a company called North Country Engineering. Right when I got out of like college, I went to go do there. I did CNC machinery for
Oh yeah.
almost a full year. The the company made all sorts of small little CNC aluminum parts, metal parts, and but their biggest manufacturer was uh, they would work for another company in Vermont that distributed used Ukrainian firearms. I know, like crazy, like with Ukrainian stuff going on, but
Right.
this is back in like, gosh, like 2015,
Yeah.
2014. So basically, the way it worked was, uh, Romania and Ukraine would export AK-47 rifles to this company in Vermont. The company in Vermont would take them and ship them to my company, the engineering one. And when we got these AK-47s in, they were all single stack mags, right? Which, according to the ATF at the time, you could not sell an AK-47 with a single stack mag. You had to sell it with several different American-made parts on it. It couldn't be all Russian parts and all whatever. So
Dumb rules.
yeah, I know. I was like, okay, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just working the job, working the machine, man. You know.
Mhm.
But my job on a day-to-day basis, I was given like the core of an AK-47. You know what? Let me grab one down here. I'll show it to you. So I grabbed an AK-47, right? There'd be no magazine in it. I'd have no buttstock, no hand grip. Pretty much all I'd have is the barrel assembly and the internal mechanism assembly with all the guts taken out of it, right?
Oh wow.
So it was my job every day to go ahead, pull the top pin off, pull all the guts out of the gun, make sure it's bare bones, and I would put the gun into the CNC machine, right? Make sure the program was set, make sure everything was centered, so I could CNC the inner mag well of this to make it from taking a single stack magazine to a double stack Magpul style magazine for an AK-47.
Huh.
And then once it got out of the machine, deburr it, go ahead, put the entire thing back together, put it on a pallet, and grab another gun. I'd touch 190 guns a day,
Yeah, I believe it.
you know, just going through the motions, but nothing was more satisfying than disassembling these things, you know, taking all the internals out of it, putting it all back together, and then racking the bolt and put it on the pallet. Like racking the bolt, put it on the pallet. Rack the bolt, like that's the most satisfying part every day. Even with the airsoft guns nowadays. Like
For sure.
everybody wants to rack the bolt, right? I mean, that's
You got in that job. You got your boss coming in. That's or a supervisor. That's a real jerk. Like the boss in Office Space.
yes.
Comes walking in like, yeah, Matty. Yeah, and he starts to tell you something. You just start racking a bolt like over
Yeah,
and over and over.
rack.
Like, what? I can't hear you. Oh,
No, it
yeah,
was-
that's funny.
No, that was a fun job. Definitely taught me a lot about firearms and stuff like that. But no, really satisfying. Just really, really crazy. What ended up happening though was I ended up losing that job, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because there were import restrictions on the AK-47s because they were coming from Romania. So I guess there was some sort of like import ban or something like that the United States government put into place. And because they put that into place, the company that was hiring us to do the modifications wasn't hiring us to do the modifications anymore.
Right.
And then, about 70% of that company got laid off, unfortunately, and I was part of it. Yeah, just unfortunate, but that thing,
For sure.
that sort of stuff happens. I mean,
Yeah.
can't do much about it.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough. Most of the, as far as manufacturing goes, most of the places I worked were pretty diversified in the parts that they made, and so whenever there was a dip or fluctuations in the market, they always had another product that we made that kind of
Oh, good,
kept
good.
it even. So
Now,
like
the only other product that this company manufactured, which I touched upon a couple of times myself, most of the time I was touching the guns every day,
yeah.
but eventually they put me on a couple of machines, and I was CNCing parts for uh, nuclear reactor piping. So I don't fully understand what I was making. It was like it was some form of a cylinder, right? It had several different holes drilled in several different locations and going off which way. And the way that the quality insurance inspector was explaining it to me, he's like, all right, so this hole right here, this is where the boron gas goes through. This hole right here is where the hydrogen gas goes through. This hole right here, I'm like, wait a minute. So like the gas is split up depending on the holes that I don't fully understand it till today.
I don't either.
But I don't know. It was a cool part. It was a cool part to design, and
Yeah.
no, it's fun,
Yeah, when I was doing the aluminum die casting, I worked a lot with the CNC machiners, machinists, and I did that part for like a month before I bid on another job where I ran machines, and then I was in setup and kind of like process and everything on that. But I loved watching those machines work because I don't know, there's something and I was fresh, so. If I do 900 parts, I'm not going to like watching it anymore. But when I first would, set it in there, get it all centered, set it up, close the door, hit the button,
Yeah.
the thing just sitting there, milling out all this stuff. I'm like, whoa, that's cool. This is back, this was 90.
I did the same thing watching those guns, man. You close the door, you hit that button, and then I'm supposed to be deburring this rifle, but I'm like,
it was fun, man. It's just something. Well, even now, I mean, on YouTube, you see those videos. Some of those videos have, 70 million views that are, the etching ones or the lathe or, the CNC type of thing, where you watch that. It's, I don't know, there's something about it that we want to see that finished thing,
Yeah, exactly. People want to see the finished product and see how amazing it looks afterwards, Yeah, no, it's it's fun.
Yeah, that's got to be a crazy, experience with. I honestly, I didn't know Navrich made his own BBs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he was just labeling them. I didn't know he actually went through the process to get it started.
He doesn't own the manufacturing company by any means, but he did start and he did work with the manufacturing company to have them create higher weight BBs, which, as far as I'm concerned right now, Navrich is the only one that creates high weight BBs, like 0.46 gram, 0.40 gram, like stuff like that are obviously made for snipers because that's what he does, right? But from seeing a lot of the Blue Mag content, that's a market that I know Austin is trying to move in on and actually kind of expand upon it here on the West Coast or here, on the Western Hemisphere. There's definitely a market for it.
Yeah, there's a market for it for sure. And I wonder if there's going to be, some kind of changes coming through in the next few years with the higher weight BBs on fields because, Airsoft, Milsim's getting more popular. They're getting more players out there. I mean, this last event we went to was 700 players.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure how many there were last year. Of course, you can't really base it on the last 2 years because of COVID and everything shut down.
Yeah.
But the, I was talking to the podcast I did with Woodland Warriors, the guy in, his name's Chris, in Netherlands. He said that their field, in Netherlands, they have a part of their government that is actually kind of slated over Airsoft. So they have inspectors that go and check on, and test whatever. So they'll test the ground, make sure there's no harmful things happening with all these BBs. Well, I guess the heavier weight BBs have heavy metals in them in their process, and that's why they're heavier. And so some kind of harmful metals that are getting into the soil. I'm not sure. He told me what they were.
Metal. That's
I'll have
that.
to go back and listen to that podcast again because I can't remember what he said. But it made sense when he was telling me because, of course, being in that field most of my life with manufacturing, especially with plastics, I know a natural thing that happens. Like if you color plastic with, if you use the resin white.
Mhm.
White resin is, for whatever it's made of, is very, very dense. So when you put that into a product like white cups, or like, have you seen the milk jugs?
Yeah, yeah.
White. So that's a lot heavier plastic because of the coloring. But anyway, he was talking about how they shut some of the fields down to do these inspections on the soil because of
Hmm.
these heavy metals in the heavier BBs. So they put out a blanket rule across the board that you could not shoot any BBs over .20.
Wow.
And he was like, and I started laughing when he said that. I said, so what did the snipers do? Like, their BBs were going to the sky.
Yeah, right.
So uh, he said, yeah, he said they did leave it up to individual fields to make that choice, but with a stipulation that if they come back and inspect the soil, and if the heavy metals or whatever if it's harmful to a point, then they have to come in and excavate this whole thing, like clean up the soil, and it's like 500 grand for this process.
Wow.
So it'll basically shut the field down and close that whole
Yeah.
area off. So anyway, I
That
wonder if that's going to affect
I have.
manufacturing here soon.
I mean, if manufacturing of BBs and stuff takes off in the United States, maybe that's something that the EPA might hop on. But
Right.
as far as like fields and stuff getting shut down, the only thing I've ever really seen or heard of like fields having issues is more so related to the types of bunkers and stuff like that that they have on the field and them deteriorating over time. Uh, there are fields here up in the Northeast that have like really old beaten up cars and stuff just sitting on the field,
Yep.
and they've been sitting there for the past 10 years, if not more. They still have gasoline and oil in them. They still have all those liquids and stuff in them.
Right.
I mean, I only know this because I know the field owners. They literally they were the ones who parked that car there. I mean,
Yeah.
it has nothing there. Like
Yeah.
they parked it there, threw away the key. People have been beating on the windshield and stuff like that. Like it's not great. And when you have like a local stream or a wetland or something like that nearby, the towns crack down hard on that sort of stuff.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm not sure if this is, if somebody's already been doing this or whatever whenever they have these vehicles on the field, but if they plan on just leaving them there, as cover or whatever for a long time, years, they could take that motor out, take the whole guts out,
Yes, they could.
sell it, because there are so many people online looking for used motors.
Unfortunately, there are field owners up here in the New England area that just don't do that.
Yeah.
They're just like, nope, I pushed the car there. I don't want to take the motor out. I don't care about it. And
Yeah. Well,
They're-
I'm saying it could be. I know they don't want to do the work, but they could make some money out of it if they do.
no, definitely, they definitely could. I mean, and
It's a lot of work, obviously, but
I'm more than anybody know several of their players and stuff like that are always willing to donate time and effort to be able to help fields to do
Right.
things like that, especially if it's going to increase profit that goes back into the field to building things better and making better games and stuff for those regular players. So but there are some fields up here that are just like, nope, I don't care. I don't I went to a field recently, actually, up here in New England. I don't really want to say where or whatever, but people that know where I went, they know where I went. And I talked to one of the field owners, and he was telling me, "Yeah, this is a trash field. You can play for free." I'm like, "What?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I appreciate you and your team coming up here. I hope you guys make a video or something, but our field is absolute trash. You can play for free for the day."
As in trash,
Like he was talking about his own field. He said that
it's not a good field, like the
it's
way
not.
it's set up or something.
Yeah, he said the way that it's set up is not good. He says the players that we have here are not good players. He's like
Huh.
he just not happy about the process. He's not happy about the gameplay. He's not happy with anything. He's like, honestly, this field's on its last leg. I'm probably going to go start my own field somewhere else, maybe a couple miles down the road on another plot of land. But he's
Huh.
not happy with the current field at that time. And it's really disappointing to go to a place like that and hear something
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Well, especially in airsoft because I feel like I well, my experience since
yeah,
I started, kind of getting exposed to this has been like 99.9% of the people I've met in airsoft have been very passionate about the sport itself. I understand. Listen, I've had jobs where I got burned out.
yep,
It is very discouraging. I get it. And I can't imagine, owning a field or whatever that's where maybe maybe that guy or
mm-hmm.
I know it happened to a lot of guys in Ohio when I was playing paintball. As paintball started kind of losing, interest, or people started losing interest in it in the area I was in,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be less and less people at the field. People wanted, they weren't going to spend the same amount on a gun that they would normally. So, or 5 years before, and these field owners get burned out. Like they're discouraged,
Yeah.
burned out. Like I don't know what else to do. But that was back then. I feel like nowadays. I think they still could have done something back then. I mean, still have an option.
You always
Have
have
the
an
drive
option
and
as a field
right,
owner.
the
Like,
energy and drive. But like now, you got social media, bro. Like if you're halfway decent, or know somebody that's halfway decent at creating some little 10-second short video that is badass, creates grabs attention, to advertise, you could spend very little and get a huge return on it. I know when we started our channel, I know so many people asked me like, "Man, your channel blew up, subs or whatever, YouTube," and I'm like, the SEO on our website, maybe that's part of it, but also I forgot about this. We used to, when you were allowed to,
mhm.
every like consistently throughout the month, maybe 2 times a month, sometimes 3 times a month, but definitely 1 time a month for sure. The first year, we would buy Facebook ads to promote our channel
Yep.
from the business, TriFecta Airsoft page that I made on YouTube or on Facebook rather. So you could create an ad, because I set up the Facebook. Well, you know how to do it.
I know how to do it. I
Yep.
did a couple of those ads and stuff for our team and whatnot to get
Yep.
some of our videos and stuff out there. And it definitely got you viewers and stuff. But once you stopped
And it was cheap.
paying, yeah. But what I found is once you stopped
Yeah.
paying for it,
Oh yeah.
that's when it just all stopped.
Well, we
And,
we did it consistently every month. It was
yeah.
yeah, you're right. Once you stop, it stops, and that's pretty typical for any business anywhere.
Mhm.
That old saying, "Out of sight, out of mind." If
Yeah.
you went, if we went a year without ever seeing a Coca-Cola commercial somewhere, or or a medical, pharmaceutical commercial somewhere, what I'm saying, like, those, it's always in your face, it's always there. We have short
Mhm.
attention spans, but we used to do that all the time until they changed their, they don't allow it anymore. So
Yeah.
for airsoft, but anyway, that was a big thing. If you had a field and if you found a venue that you could, pay for an ad, I think Google AdSense, if you have a YouTube channel that's where it's attached to it,
Hmm.
um, once your channel gets monetized, you have a Google AdSense account that's attached. That's how you get paid through YouTube. I think they still allow airsoft or ads through there. I don't think that's been blocked yet. I'm gonna
Airsoft
have to do
ad.
a test on that. I'm gonna have to do a test on that
Hmm.
because you can buy ads through AdSense now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've thought about that though, doing the monetization thing on YouTube, like as a content creator. Um, and just the more I think about it, the more I kind of get turned off by it.
Really?
And the only reason is because I don't create videos and stuff to make money off of it.
Right.
I do it for fun. And because I do it for fun, that means, people might be waiting, hey, when's the next MoBros video dropping, MattyMo? Like, come on, get on it. I'm not making money off this. I don't ever have to post a video ever again if I don't want to.
Right.
But once I am making money off of it, then it becomes a requirement. Then it becomes something that I actually have to dedicate myself to because I'm relying on that payment, And it's a second source of income at that point. And me knowing the person that I am, I'd have to just dive into it. So I think that's the main reason why I don't create too many videos anymore. I mean, I think the last one I made was January. Where are we? We're in April now. I mean, it's been 3 months. I mean, I have some new footage. I've played with a couple of things, but I haven't really found anything that I'm really excited to release yet, Right. I mean, the most recent video was the one that you saw earlier today, the footage of the studio and stuff. It was a quick TikTok video. That looked really cool. I was really excited for it, so I released that. But no, I haven't really seen or collected enough footage yet of this year of myself or our team that I'm like, man, I gotta show this to people,
Yeah. Well, when we started, that was we wanted to get monetized. Like I said, that my goal was to get to where we could use the videos to fund the airsoft, like mystery boxes, and kind of, it would self-sustain.
No, and that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course I was looking for a way to make money because I wouldn't sign up for, apply for a disability because I was too stubborn, So, I mean, most people would be, most, especially guys, like, hey, I'm not doing that. So I'm going to find another way. But yeah, that was my hope in the beginning. I thought, we were really excited. Well, we were excited about, these guys were excited about the sport. I was excited about, learning something new and give me a purpose. Here, but yeah, the ad thing is, with Google AdSense or whatever, these, going back to what we were talking about, those field owners that are kind of burned out. I mean, there's always a way to kind of do things. I know it takes some work, but like what this guy was talking about, it takes a lot more work to buy another plot of land, build a field, or buy a field. Like nothing is going to be easy. Whichever way you go, you either work with what you got and start building it up, but that attitude that he had when you got there, like our field's trash, like, bro, if you don't believe in it, I'm not going to believe in it.
Dude, I played one round that day and I'm just like, kind of hurt my ankle a little bit.
Oh,
just not, I could, if I wanted to, I could have kept playing.
Well, sure.
But I was just like, he even said his field was trash. I guess I just hung out for the rest of the day in the parking lot.
Vibes. There are those vibes, bro.
Yeah,
dude.
And that's
morale.
Exactly, and that's what our team does. Is like when we go to fields and stuff, like we try to bring those positive vibes. This is the first time I went to a field, and they're just like, "Oh, hey, great to see you here. Yeah, our field's kind of trash." I'm like,
Jesus.
Okay, it surely can't be that bad. Oh no, it's that bad. Let me tell you that. Like, oh my God, seriously? Like,
oh, hey, you know when you're talking with people and you kind of degrade yourself a little bit, just in joking, in jest, whatever, you're joking around like, oh no, man, I'm horrible at that, whatever. But you're actually kind of good at it. You're just messing around.
Yeah, dude, this guy was not messing around.
Yeah, when it's like that, it's kind of funny. But when somebody's like for real, you're like, oh shit.
I just felt bad. Like I felt bad. Like we get
this dude. Yeah,
we're just like, dude, here's a MoBros patch. Like, why don't you put it on your patch wall?
Oh, I'm glad you said something, bro. Listen, I got your thing. I didn't open it yet because I wanted to do it on here. I'm so glad you said something. I got distracted with my granddaughter coming in here. All right, hang on. So
I can't you took this long to open it. Oh my gosh.
Bro, I saved it. Okay, well, I saved it, and then I got it before we went to the event. And then since I've been back from the event, man, I was wrecked. I mean, I was exhausted. It took every ounce of energy to get my legs moving to go to work every day this past week.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It was, I mean, I love it. I love the struggle. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was worn the fuck out. Every day I came home from work, I hate being in bed because I spent 2 years, almost 2 years in bed.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help it. Like, I had to lay down and get off put my legs up. I was just like, okay. So anyway, I was a little behind on some of this stuff. So, and you put a shit ton of stamps on that too.
I had to. It's the only way to ship it.
Really? Okay.
It's because of the weight.
Yeah. Well, I have one of those little mail scales that I bought because I was shipping these overseas and I didn't want to pay too much, but oh yeah. I got your patches.
Thought you like them.
Dude, I love them, man. I love them. I love the, because when we talked on our last time, you said, you asked me which one to like, and I was like,
yeah, I did.
I like this one, but the first one I liked was the
camo patch.
Yeah,
the
camo patch.
It's a classic, man. It really is.
What I really liked too was this one.
Dude.
Yeah.
You get the Band of Brothers vibes now, don't you?
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, bro. I wonder if it'll stick on my shirt. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Hell yeah. This is one of those like.
There you go.
But listen, look. Speaking of that, see that red mark?
Yeah.
That's from getting shot. Woo!
BB shot? Yeah.
I shot at an event.
You popped your cherry. Congratulations.
I'm not a virgin anymore. Woo!
Yeah.
So, I was filming, and so right when they were the first day, the first day these guys were playing, they had a night game Friday night, but it was a separate ticket, and we got there Friday afternoon, but we just camped, set up our camp and everything. So these guys were playing Saturday. That's when the main 3 games were. But so I went, and after the briefing, I went up and started talking to the owner and, kind of like the originator of Third Coast Airsoft, Sal. I went up there and started talking to him. And so they were doing the countdown. Everyone went to their staging areas, the teams. They're doing a countdown. And we're right in a kind of like a conflict point where all these, teams are coming up. But so they did the countdown. Him and I are still talking. And then right when they, do the whistles and everything, whatever, they start running. So there's this big bus here. And so him and I kind of get close to the bus. He's like, oh, shit, here we go.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. I start feeling like shit starts about, happening over here. So I got right in the middle of 2 teams shooting across. So I backed up against the bus. And I tried to turn because Sal went around the corner to the back of us. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I was like, wait for me. So I come around there, and as soon as I turn my chest this way, I get striped right up from here on my chest plate or my plate carrier all the way up, and it hits right above where it was exposed.
Protecting you.
Like, oh, I loved it, man. I was like, yes, shoot me again. Oh, I had a good time there.
You probably also took a couple rounds right on the plate carrier.
Oh, yeah. When it started the plate carrier right in my sternum.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah. And honestly, by the time I got around to the back, I didn't feel this. Like I felt I felt it the same way I felt it on my plate carrier, but I didn't know it hit my skin. I had t-shirt.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I didn't even feel it because I was like, it was adrenaline, bro. I was like, yes, this is fucking awesome. That's the first time that I've been in the shit, in the middle of it.
A lot of players
started.
A lot of players will tell you that, when it comes to like calling hits and stuff in Airsoft, it's not so much feeling it because you have that adrenaline stuff.
Right.
It's hearing it. And like you probably did, you could hear that flap off your plate carrier and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So like a lot of players listen for that exact noise, and once they hear that, that's when they'll call
it was loud. I mean, it was loud. It was very distinct, and it's so fast. It was just like this,
Yeah.
And then I finally got around to the side of the bus. I was like, all right. So I'm trying to film and kind of keep my camera from getting shot. But
Now you know what it's like to be a referee at an airsoft game,
oh, for
right?
real, dude. Yeah. And speaking of that, I would love to talk to some admins or refs, or I guess over in UK they call them marshals.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Somebody that's been a marshal or an admin for quite a long time at some of these games. I'd love to get their perspective on these
Oh yeah.
game events.
Oh yeah. No, they'd have a great perspective on stuff like that. I know. I'm in talks with one of the referees at our team's home field, RBC Airsoft in New Hampshire. Uh, the head referee there, Oobs is his call sign. He hosts a game every year. It's called Operation Green Death. Similar to like that Operation Outbreak game that we did. I'm going to be CO for Operation Green Death as well.
Nice.
We played it last year. There's a whole storyline behind it. Green Death is it's a eco-terrorist group in the United States that are a bunch of tree huggers and fuckers, and they, save the environment, and versus the evil corporations. Let's burn oil. That's my team. Burn the midnight oil. Cut down the trees. That
You're
stuff.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, we're horrible. We're pretty bad people. But I CO'd the event last year in June. We had a huge turnout. Our team actually, we were able to do a giveaway and a raffle at the event. We were able to contribute a couple of patches, a pistol, a couple of other free game tickets and stuff like that to the field. We're going to do the same thing this year. We've actually going to be doing a rifle giveaway. We're still keeping it under wraps. I know a lot of people have heard us talk about this rifle giveaway. I will say, though, that it's going to be a KWA rifle. I can say that much.
Shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice rifle. But last year at the end of the event, as the CO, I ended up actually getting captured. I ended up getting dragged away by a couple of enemy players.
Oh shit.
So I've been talking with the event coordinator and the head referee at the event there, and he wants to do a promotional video, right before Green Death 6 this year. Upcoming in June. We might be filming something in May, and I might edit it. I might release it, if it turns out well. But something to get some hype up for the event coming up this year. Who knows? It could be anything, really. It could be me escaping the clutches of people, or me getting tortured or something like that, and amp people up to come save me. I don't know. I mean, it's endless possibilities. But
hey, look, those guys that capture you, like, hey, now we're doing a raffle. You're not, your name's taken out, okay? Your name's getting out. It's gone.
Exactly. Dude, I had to be honest though. I had so much fun. Out of the highlight of last year of everything our team did, all 18 events that our team went to last year,
That's a lot, bro.
That raffle was like my highlight of the year right there. Like, oh, seriously. Like, just being up there, calling out names and everything, everybody's cheering for whoever won something. Like, no matter how small or how big it was just a great sense of community, great sense of pride. Everybody's there amped up to play Airsoft. Dude, it was just so much fun. I mean, I'm sure, did they have a rifle at the Stonebreaker game?
They did. Well, I wasn't able to walk over there. So, where we were camped, Sunday afternoon, the game ended after they went to play Sunday. I wanted to film the end kind of ceremony or whatever they did, with the raffle and everything, and then they call out kind of like the numbers and what team won and who won the most. I guess they gave out like awards for who did the most, whatever, Yeah. And it was so far of a walk from where we were camped to. Now it was the same walk that I did on Saturday. When I went to film, when I was talking to Sal, where they had the briefing, bro, listen, Sunday morning, I literally couldn't walk.
Oh my God.
My legs were so spent, from Saturday that, I woke up Sunday morning, we're sleeping in the tent on the ground. It's fine. But I go to get up and, I couldn't get up. So, I literally crawled from our tent, and I was, honestly, I don't know why, but I'm still kind of like self-conscious about it. So
don't be, man. If you're injured,
I know, but when you're around a bunch of strangers you don't know, I stuck my head out and I'm looking like, because we're, a bunch of tents, people around
Yeah.
us, and I'm like, and I got to crawl like 20 feet to the where we had a couple coolers, full of beer
Yeah.
sitting there to be able to push myself up to just stand upright. Well, so I'm crawling over there. And I'm like, I was, I could barely stand. Like I had to hold on to the truck for like an hour before, I could get kind of stable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I hated it that I missed the end ceremony. I literally could not walk over there, and we couldn't drive a vehicle over to where that was, because when you leave, it's really kind of the way it's set up. When you leave the
Yeah.
campground, it's far away from where that is,
Hmm.
and the guys are like, we'll help walk you over there. Christian and Colton, they're big. I could put my arms around them and kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just I'm too prideful, man. I'm stubborn. I'm
I
like,
get it.
nope, I'm not doing that. So but anyway,
I get it,
really
man.
I did go to
I've injured myself way more than I should have at events
Yeah,
and stuff. Like,
sure.
I well,
Well, you're still kind of young, but
I'm
you're
still
not young.
I'm
So
not
you'll
young,
probably
young.
go gung ho and then get hurt.
I mean, I'm 31. I'm 230 pounds. Like, I'm not in the best shape of my life. I am young, but I'm not in the best shape of my life. And my biggest hang up for me, especially when it comes to airsoft, is I actually have cold induced asthma. Anybody? Yes, I have asthma. So anybody that's ever watched one of the MoBros videos or video from like my point of view and my cam and stuff, and they hear like that's me having an asthma attack while I'm
Yeah.
playing airsoft. I push myself through it, and then you'll see me in the parking lot like 15 minutes later, like
You can't even breathe.
I can't breathe, I can't do nothing. I'm puffing my inhaler, and people are like, "Dude, that was really awesome play you just did, taking that objective, but like, why are you dying in the parking lot?"
Right. Yeah.
And people,
That's a common thing. I was just talking to Little Miss Airsoft, the one we did with her.
yeah,
And she has asthma, same thing. That's why she started that slow QB thing.
yep,
The girl I talked to yesterday I talked to a girl yesterday from South Africa, and same thing. She's got asthma. She is, she had to kind of adjust her gear and gameplay style
yeah,
to accommodate. Like, it's that old saying from the Bible, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I mean,
yeah,
that applies to so many things, like what we're talking about. When you get older, or if you have an ailment, you're gung ho. You want to go. Like, I
yeah,
want to fucking get out there, bro. And
yeah.
I'm like, I'm so excited. Like when we first got into this event, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take all these films and videos, and
But that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
and I start
Like you
walking, I'm
get
like,
you're
yeah,
dude, like you get out there, you want to be that, you want to be that gung ho and everything,
yeah,
and then because of your limitations, you're like embarrassed about it, right? Like everyone's like, "Oh, hey, you gonna come to the raffle?" And you're just like,
yeah.
they're dying because of an asthma attack next to your freaking car, and you're like, dude, I don't think I could go. Just go without me.
Honestly,
Like,
I wish I could get out of breath. I can't even work my muscles hard enough to get out of breath. Like I was walking back Saturday afternoon, and I had just filmed these guys. It was after I got shot, and I filmed a bunch of stuff. And I had already walked. This was the later kind of in the afternoon. I had already stayed out there a bunch, a long time. So I'm walking back, and down below the hill, these guys were getting together, their team together to kind of like storm the building or whatever.
mhm.
So I'm walking up, and by this time my calves are like, I mean, I could barely lift my foot off the ground, like my toe up off the ground.
Yeah.
The muscles in front of your shins, that muscle that lifts your foot up,
Yeah.
is really small and thin. Okay,
Mhm.
so compared to your other muscles, right?
Yeah.
So it wears out really quickly. So anyway, and especially with I had combat boots on, so if I don't pick them up, your toes drag, and then especially when you're on rough pavement, you're about to trip. So I'm walking really slow. So I'm walking up to this group, and this guy's standing there getting his stuff ready, and he's loading a mag, and
Yeah.
he looks up and he's watching me, and he sees the press thing, and so I finally get kind of close to him, and he goes, "Are you walking or running?" You know, kind of joking around. And I go, "Look, bro, this is my running right now." So he goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, this is about as fast as I can go right now." I didn't tell him why. I didn't say anything, you know. So we stood there and talked for a few minutes. I got a picture of him and his guys getting ready to go out on like one of those little gators, you know, four-wheel gator thing.
Yeah.
And I'll have to post. I don't think I posted that picture yet.
I haven't seen it, so yeah, definitely post it up.
Yeah, it's cool, you know. So they all jumped on that and got taken around to another side of the building. But yeah, he was like, "Oh, okay," you know. He didn't. But I was literally walking as physically fast as I could, and it was super slow, you know.
Yeah. No, I've started doing things for myself, like when we go to when our team goes to skirmish events and things like that, and you get put with, you know, a bunch of people for the day, right? And the first thing I do, you know, what our team will do is we'll be like, all right, hey, so this is our objective. We want to go do this. We want to go do that. I'll just be like, all right, great. That's awesome. Who wants to be in the Penguin Waddler group and who wants to be in the Sprinter group? Because I'm a Waddler over here. I'm going to the objective.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not running, you know?
Yeah.
And then you got those younger kids that are like, oh, yo, full send. Like, I'm going to sprint there. They'll be there in 3 seconds, you know? And I'm just like, that's great. I got range. So
Listen, man, Tonka, the guy we talked about earlier, call sign Tonka, he just posted a video. I'm not sure if he posted on his story or his or an actual feed or whatever, but he you know, he's wearing a GoPro.
Yeah.
So hopefully it wasn't just on his story, because I want to go look at it again. But he's got a video of him where he the post was, we didn't, because Green Team, the team he was on, lost the event. And he was like, well, you can't say I didn't try. That was his kind of like post. So he's running from the start when they said go. Bro, it is one of the most exciting videos I've seen in a while for outdoor play. He is going outside. He's going around corners. He's getting everybody.
Is it on his story or is it on his Instagram?
Well, unfortunately, I think it was on his story, which goes away in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right. I'm looking for it right now on call sign Tonka.
I'm going to have to ask him. I'll send him a text and ask him to post that on his feed.
Yeah, dude. Tell me
on his reels.
I see him here. I'm looking at a picture of him right here, sitting with Laz from Tryhard's Airsoft.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I had somebody reach out to me that saw, because all the pictures I'm posting on Instagram, I'm tagging Third Coast Airsoft or Stonebreaker or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, we saw you guys. These are people I don't even know. We saw you guys at the event. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, where were you? You know, I told him where we were camped out. And he was like, yeah. We had one of the guys on our team had a technical there. It was a camouflage painted Jeep. Now, I took a picture of it. I didn't even know that it was them. So I sent him the 3 pictures I had. I was like, oh, is this it? He was like, yeah, thanks for the pics. You know, it was really cool. So anyway, I've talked to him in the last, that just happened yesterday.
It's crazy going to one event, how many friends you can make out of just going to that one event, right?
Oh, I had a great time, man.
Like that, our team, we pretty much blossomed on the East Coast after we attended Grimmier Tactical's Captivist event. Yeah. That's where we met teams like Moon's Goons Airsoft, Valkyrie Directive, Deadline Force, Little Miss Airsoft. Like, we met all these teams, all these players and stuff just from going to that event. Gritty Gorillas, Jesus, the list goes on and on. And then from there, the more events that we attended, like with those teams, we met more teams because of that. And then it just grew our patch wall. That's what it did. Like, just grew it. It was awesome experience. But no, go to more events, E-Rock, and you'll be surprised how many more teams, how many more people you guys will meet.
We got there, and I was like, okay, when's the next one we're going to? Because I'm not even joking, man. I have missed that. Like, you know, when you know, so I'm working all the time. You know, our kids were younger. I'm working all the time. Then I get sick, so I'm stuck in a house for a couple years. Got better. Well, the first time I got sick, I was only laid up for 5 months. Got better, went back to work
Yeah.
for a year and a half. Then it came back. Worse. Then I'm in the hospital for 4 days. Then I'm at home, stuck in bed for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we start this channel. I'm filming all this stuff, but I haven't really gone anywhere. So in the last, 11, 12 months, whatever, I started working again, and then being exhausted, trying to rehab myself. And then, and now this is my first event where I'm like around a group of people that are like-minded, that are passionate, that are positive, right? Excited about what they're doing. Man, it was the best fucking time I've had in a long, long time. And I saw the camaraderie. I felt the camaraderie that I had in military. It was awesome. Yeah.
Dude, that's what it's like. That's why our team keeps going to more and more events and meeting more and more people, and why our whole team is about more, because it's that sense of camaraderie that we love to support, we love to promote. Like, you see a lot of negativity online, you see a lot of cheater videos and stuff like that. The sport isn't like that at all. When you saw it for yourself the past weekend when you went to the event, like all the BS and everything that gets promoted online that you happen to see, or that anybody outside of the sport usually sees and looks at because, it makes news headlines and whatnot. That's not what it is.
No.
What it is what you saw that weekend out on the field. Like, and that's 100%. And that's happening all over the United States. It's happening in New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, New York, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Perry, Georgia, right now at the American Milsim Iron Horse event that's going on. Like, it's everywhere. And my only wish is I wish I could attend every freaking event, dude. I wish I could be I had enough money to go to a different field every weekend,
Yeah, for real. Listen, before, all the interactions I've had in the last 3 years with everybody, like, from our YouTube channel and, commenting, talking with people, our Discord, even when I started the podcast, I never had a thought in my mind like, well, that's not true. Originally, our original plan was to travel around to different places and play with people, some of our viewers that we met through our YouTube channel. So that was the original plan. Of course, I didn't recover as fast as I thought I would or like to, I guess. Yeah. And so it kept getting pushed back. Well, then COVID and travel was shut down and all this shit. Well, so I guess I haven't thought about it for, a couple years. Not seriously thought about traveling to meet other players like yourself or Little Miss Airsoft or Austin or whatever, and now so the first, couple days of that event, I'm like, okay, how can I explain to my wife that I'm going to spend all this money traveling? No shit. Like, all right, how can I work this out? Okay, we're going to be gone this weekend. When's that event? Okay, we got to buy a plane ticket or we got to drive, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go hang out with these people at these events. Like, I'm hooked, big time hooked. And I was passionate about it before, but now I'm like, dude, I can't shake that feeling I had while I was there.
It really is. It's an amazing feeling. It really is. There's no other way about it. But yeah, man, if you're ever looking for a home up here in the New England area, you know who to call. All right.
Well, listen, between you, Little Miss Airsoft, John, now recently, Radar from Moon Goons, I've got and then Austin, there in that area. I've got Nepa Airsoft, who's up in Pennsylvania. Keeper is up there. I've got a ton of people, and I'm probably forgetting somebody.
You got a ton of couches to sleep on right now. That's what you got, right?
Oh, dude, I'm really excited for the future of it. So
yeah, man.
Look forward to that kind of thing.
Well, I know I have some family. I got some grandparents down in the North Carolina area, so if I'm ever down there, I'll be hitting you up for sure.
For real. Well, look, we've got 5 bedrooms, and our last child's moving out here in 2 weeks, so we've got all kind of room here.
I'll bring the whole team. Fuck it, let's go.
For real, seriously. So we have a ton of space here. We have no neighbors either. So
Oh,
we
very
shoot
nice.
real guns in our backyard, and nobody gives a shit. And we're outside of city limits. So
Well, there
we
you go.
make, when we have parties, people will pull their car or Jeep back here and
Mhm.
open the doors because they have a banging system, and they'll play music while we have a big bonfire and drinking back here. And there's nobody close enough to care.
That's
So,
awesome.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, I don't.
So
I
y'all are welcome.
oh, I wish I lived in an area like that. Here I am. I'm in the basement of my house in the middle of the city, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't. I never really liked urban living. I guess we did. We did when the kids were little. We had a place in a really tight neighborhood,
yeah.
or houses close together and stuff. And I didn't really like. It wasn't. I didn't hate it. I
Hmm.
just prefer this as opposed to that, with a little bit of space and privacy, but not too far away from town.
Yeah, yeah.
2 minutes from all the shit going on downtown, which is not bad. But
No, I grew up. I grew up in the city. In the city I'm actually living in right now. I grew up here when I was a little kid. 7, 8, 9 years old, and then I moved to a country-ish area. Just about 45 minutes out of the city. Hated it. Just didn't like it growing up. I really missed like all my close school friends and stuff like that. So
yeah,
when I had the chance to go to college, I picked a college down in Boston, Massachusetts, and went there. Met my wife down there. And I lived in Boston for about 6 years, and not in like the nice area of Boston. People are like, "Oh yeah, Boston. Oh yeah, all the tourist areas." No, I lived in the hood. I lived near Roxbury, Massachusetts. Anybody watching who knows Roxbury, they know that is the hood. Uh, that's where all the crime happens and stuff.
okay,
I I absolutely loved it. I miss it every day, actually.
yeah,
Like where compared to where I'm living right now. Yeah, I miss it, man. It's just you get used to that sort of like inner city style living. You get used to when you go to bed, there is somebody else up right now. There's
yeah.
somebody else walking around your house. They're not going to mess with your stuff. They're just
No,
walking on the
there's
sidewalk,
there's shit going on.
smoking their cigarette, doing their own
Yeah,
thing. Like, I don't know. I just kind of found peace and stuff like that.
I didn't
Um,
mind that. When we first got married, I was still in the military, and we lived off base
mhm.
a small apartment, and the first place we lived was a first floor apartment, so we had people above us everywhere, all around us and everything. There was always something going on. There was a lot of military guys there, Marine Corps guys there as well. So there's always parties and fights and
Mhm.
so, and then of course Sundays, when people are hungover, is usually when the husbands and wives, especially the military guys, fight. They argue. Uh, you know, so there was a lot. There was always some kind of action going on, whether it was positive
Yeah.
or negative. But there's always some shit going on. It kind of kept you on your toes and kept life interesting. I don't like the quiet life per se. I
Yeah.
don't have that. I like the freedom. I don't. When we lived in Ohio before we moved here, we would try to have big family events or
Hmm.
friends, come over, and calling fire department because we have a little fire going, where the kids are roasting marshmallows. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bro, it is safe. I got the fire, the garden hose right next to it.
Yeah.
My neighbors, call, and then I try to show my sons how to shoot a BB gun, his pellet gun in the backyard. We're shooting into the ground. I know
Yeah.
people don't know that, but they call the cops. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
uh, you know, can you
Nosy
go back
neighbors
in your
are the
house
worst.
and look the other way for 2 seconds? But anyway, so I never had a good experience with that when the kids were little, with that close.
Mm.
But when my wife and I were first married, there's no kids involved. It was just us. It was like, oh yeah, what's going on now? Oh, we look out the door like, oh,
Yeah.
they're fighting again. Okay,
Yeah,
you know,
that's what me and my wife are like. Like we don't have any kids right now. I'm still young. I'm 31 years old.
right?
But I mean, we don't really have any plans to have kids and stuff, which just means I have more time for airsoft, which is
Sure.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
I'll make that my baby, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
but no, we love the city of Boston so much. We're actually thinking maybe when we're 50, 55, maybe 60 years old, getting an apartment down there, and that's what we'll do for retirement. You know,
Okay.
live in an apartment in the city. You know, we'll be close to all the hospitals and crap. I guess you know,
Yeah, right. I know.
good way to do
One of our longtime viewers on here, Mark Patello. His daughter was the one of the first winners of our one of our first giveaways, or the winner of
it.
one of
Really?
our first giveaways.
Hmm.
So what was her name? Oh, Zoe Vitello. Um, so Mark Patello, he's actually, if you saw the video where we tested out the tag-in launcher,
Yes, I saw that
it
one.
was a
Yeah,
long time ago, right? But
yeah.
so he's actually the one that sent us his tag-in launcher and
Really?
to try it out, and I sent it back to him. But he sent us all those rounds for free. Like he just gave to us.
Oh wow.
I actually gave him a free gun uh, when I sent it back. But it was so he's up in, I think, in the Boston area. He's in Mass, but
Hmm.
I'm not. I think it's in Boston area. So you might have
Whoa.
something to talk
I mean,
about with him.
technically, people say that I'm in the Boston area, where I am. I'm about 45 minutes to an hour north of Boston right now, in
Oh,
the
you're
city
that
that I'm
close. No shit. Oh, okay.
in. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I'd have to, when me and the wife take vacations and stuff to like the Caribbean or the Bahamas and stuff like that, we'll drive down to Boston, park our car for a week, and then
Oh, wow.
take the car and drive back home. I mean,
Yeah.
we're pretty close. Um,
Right.
the city I live in, it's called Manchester, New Hampshire. There's actually a couple of signs around this city that call it the Queen City, the Queen of Boston, because it's the next largest city near Boston, I guess.
Huh. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that close. I don't look at the map that often unless I have to look at time zones for who I'm doing a podcast with in a different place. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
You're
some
like, yeah,
places like New Hampshire and
on the
Mass.
East Coast, I'm good.
Right, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Listen, man, it has been really fun talking with you.
Holy crap, it's already, oh my gosh, it's been a couple hours already. Holy
I
shit.
don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Like I
I don't
feel
feel like it at
great
all.
with the, I don't even feel like I think I had the perfect combination. I slowed down on this because it's so potent.
Oh, I almost finished mine,
Finished,
and then
yeah, you,
I got into the
there you
water.
go. But yeah, it's flown by.
Yeah, dude, definitely. Dude,
This is this is kind of what I like to do. It's like it feels like we're just hanging out.
dude, we are hanging out. That's
Yeah, that's
exactly
it.
what
Like we're just bullshitting. We're
thank
friends
God it's Friday.
for real. But
Oh
yeah,
man.
thank you so much, man. It was really cool to get together with you. I love doing a Friday night one too.
Dude, let's do another Friday night one soon, dude.
Absolutely.
I'm totally on board for this. This was a blast. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank
All right.
you. Yeah, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. You have a great rest of your night, all right?
All right, you too, man. Later.
See ya.